Speaking of TV shows, can we just circle back to Ted Lasso a little bit? And because I'm just in the mood to kind of crap on something, and I usually don't like to do this, and I'm sorry for folks that are Ted Lasso fans, because I think yucking someone's yum is bad.
Ew.
But look,
but I'm going to do it anyway.
Mitt Romney and Sinema did that, so we're just going to continue this. So if we could just put up maybe the image of them.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, she's one tough cookie. So that and
is he proposing to her?
He's giving her some biscuits. I guess that's some sort of reference. Now, I gave Bradley a sort of funny scenes clip, and I guess we could just sample these and see what kind of funniness.
They better be funny, because if they're not funny, I'm gonna roast it, because that looks just like 30 Rock / The Office / any of these other shows I don't watch.
That is a reference, by the way, to something in the show. Ted Lasso brings these cookies every morning to the woman who owns the soccer club, and she wants to dislike him a lot. She wants him to fail, but he does these things. He always thinks about her in a friendly, sexual way, and he's too likable to her.
Wow.
I can't believe Brandon just shat on 30 Rock, but continue. Pretty mad.
So yeah, here's this funny clips. Let's see if it is funny. I've seen that it's not. I've heard that it's not, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, it doesn't have a lot of views, so maybe it's not a great indication. But I'm ready to judge it entirely based on this.
Yeah.
I promised myself I was never going to watch Fresh Prince again when they swapped out Aunt Viv's. But truth be told, as long as they let Carlton do his thing, I was always going to take a minute and just sit right there. Sidebar, Alfonso Ribeiro, the greatest physical comedian of the 19th, 20th, and 21st century. Case in point, right here. Iconic. Yeah?
I never know how to react when a grown man does the Carlton in front of me.
You can see a silhouette do this. You know exactly what it is. You know exactly who's doing it. It is the one, the only, Alfonso!
Sorry, Miss Shipley!
No.
Okay.
You can't get mad. You broke up with me.
Like 24 hours ago.
Well, how long's a man meant to be alone? What was I supposed to do? Shower by myself?
And Jamie, thank you. Whenever I break up with someone, I spend months questioning it, wondering if I made a huge fucking mistake. But you have really helped me to feel good about this decision, just by...
Okay, that's probably enough.
You.
Okay.
I do like Alfonso Ribeiro, though. I watched the new seasons of America's Funniest Home Videos, and Alfonso makes me laugh and smile every week.
You're turning into Ted Lasso before our very eyes.
Well, I don't know. I guess the premise to me is a little weird, because I watch a lot of European, just sitcoms and stuff, just for my own enjoyment. And so kind of having them switch back and forth between I don't know, that weird accent that he's doing, which I assume is just the entire thing, and then the normal British or normal Irish accents. Just watch Peep Show.
Listen, I don't think it's supposed to be laugh out. I've seen it. I think it's an enjoyable show. I don't think it's the greatest show everyone makes it out to be. I don't think it's supposed to be laugh out loud funny, but apparently people are taking it that way. It's just if you feel like watching some positive, and not anything that, if you want just just get away, escape from everything. I think that's the type of show you put on, which makes it super weird, though, that it's so big, because there's nothing to really make it stand out beyond that. I don't get, it's not the best drama or comedy, or it's just bizarre that it's so popular. That's all. That's the bizarre thing to me.
I think it might just be a sign of the times. Everything is so chaotic. People just want a sort of more normal, I don't know, low stakes, mild mannered TV drama. I've been watching a lot of sitcoms, not that one specifically, but just NBC, the United States of Al, some of their other shows about donut shops. And, everything on those is a little in your face, everyone is a diverse cast member, and this kind of seems a little bit more of a throwback, I guess. So maybe people are looking for something a little bit more nostalgic. Mm-hmm. Who knows? I haven't seen much of it besides those two clips, but I think sitcoms have kind of had their heyday now.
Yes.
Well, it kind of seems to me like what Big Bang Theory was to sort of multi-camera laugh track sitcoms. This is to the non-laugh track type sitcom.
So I've been watching, not purposefully, little bits of Young Sheldon, and I've never seen Big Bang Theory.
Not purposefully? Yeah.
It comes on before United States of Al. So I'll catch the last 5-6 minutes.
Vindicated.
I'll catch like the last 5 or 6 minutes every week before the United States of Al starts. Last week, Wallace Shawn was on too, so it's pretty all right. What I've noticed about that show is that young Sheldon is never on it. Like I've watched like maybe 30 minutes of maybe 30 minutes of that show, and it's just like I have not seen or heard young Sheldon say one whole line, even though he's in all of like the the promotional material, like commercials. And also it's dark. Like it's such a dark sitcom. I was like, Jesus, it's just like The Bone Collector, some kind of like 90s thriller. Like it's lit very like, I don't know, unfunny. Like, when I think of like multi-camera sitcoms, I think of like everything's way too bright. And this show was like very like, Breaking Bad, someone just died scene lit. So I'm like, Jesus.
Maybe Sheldon died. Maybe young Sheldon died, and that's why he's not on the show anymore.
I think young Sheldon doesn't exist. I've been like a big proponent of this new conspiracy theory that young Sheldon is a mass delusion that's been, perpetrated against us by the government to just see how far they can take it before people crack.
It's a good theory. I mean, we're on the verge of cracking today when we're talking about Build Back Better. Or Build Back Nothing, basically. And Sinema and Mansion, obviously, at the forefront of a lot of these conversations. I'm trying to make this transition work. It's not working that well. I really am starting to think that you guys only like to be contrarian when it comes to pop culture. I just said I love 30 Rock. There's nothing inherently political about Ted Lasso, but it's a shitlib show. I just read an IM that said it. You haven't seen it.
No, it's not shitlib show. I mean, I guess my problem is it's just like the aesthetic of comedy and basically like tame. That's just not something I like, and I can see why somebody like Mitt Romney likes it.
Yeah, you haven't seen it. They're shitting all over it based on Romney cinema and a few clips. Superheroes are capitalists just based on MCU and not based on billions of pages of storylines that cover the gamut of political and social spectrums in comic form. However, the NFL is okay, even though they're the most corrupt entity outside of FIFA, the Senate, or the IOC, and are currently covering up a sex scandal. Base your opinions on actual facts, guys.
I don't think we say the NFL is okay.
I literally critique it regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the record, I was defending Ted Lasso just like I defend Nancy Pelosi. I mean, I just think it's a good show. I just don't think it's as special as the attention it's getting as being like this great show. But it's a good show. It's a good show.
I don't know I don't know about his politics. It looks boring to me. I'll be honest. I mean, contrarian as it might be, I won't be watching Ted Lasso. I can suggest better off Ted.
Just like having fun, but people are so pissed.
People get annoyed, but I'm sorry, I'd be pissing you off 60 years ago when I'd say Westerns are thinly veiled justification for intervention of the military, right? Like this is how, to be honest, I think it's how adults look at media, not just as a thing that I like for fun, but actually look at the wider, like why does Apple want this for people? Basically a anodyne show that has nothing really to say, and it's because it's the same reason like people like Steven Pinker want to fund stuff like the happy news. It's because you gives people entertainment to basically anesthetize them. Like I think like for a leftist politics show, you have to have that sort of awareness of why all of these superhero movies that the Department of Defense is like giving them equipment for. Like you can't isolate this stuff as it's just fun. And look, maybe you're
and
right.
And you can like it, but you can also have a critique of it. It doesn't. I mean, like
you can also critique us for not, being like a completionist about comic books or whatever. But I'm sorry, the like mass. The way this stuff is distributed to culture at large, I think is more important than like some obscure storyline in a comic book that's not actually going to make the MCU.
Yeah, and again, like I think like I've been incredibly critical of the NFL on this show. I devoted a whole segment earlier in the week, right after Gruden was fired, to say the NFL is covering up something larger. And what do you know? I was right. And it's 2 weeks later, and Congress is investigating it. So I know what I'm talking about, and I'm critical of it as well.
Yeah, and like I don't know, I watch stuff that I think I don't like the politics of it. I think that's fine to do, but I think you should actually like participate in those conversations.
Sebastian Lemba. Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna say, is this about the Eternals movie? Because I'm not gonna have a conversation about that. that barely even looks like a real thing.
I have no knowledge about that whatsoever.
It seems like everything like more about Marvel now has to be about the Eternals movie, and I'm just like, look, the buck has to stop somewhere.
Marvel lost me after the
Endgame. Endgame was it. Like
that's
I didn't even see that one actually. Infinity War. Infinity Wars, Infinity War was good, and then I heard Endgame wasn't as good, and I was sort of like,
boring.
And then also, I had a daughter that year, so I wasn't going to the movies. That's the real reason, not because I had
what excuse is that?
I will say, a lot of times the reason why, I mean, I watch the United States of Al, so like I have a high.
Do you? I haven't heard that yet.
No, I if you haven't, let me assure you, I watch it all the time. I catch it live. But no, a lot of times, ironically, I find that like I will criticize something based on like its entertainment value as like the basic level of why I watch stuff, to be entertained, and people will project whatever level that they feel like is defensible about it onto that. I'm like, well, I think that the songs in Hamilton are bad, which makes it a bad musical. And then they'll go, you don't like the politics, or you don't like some other like artsy aesthetic. I'm like, no, I think that technically it's like a bad thing. Or like, I don't like, the quality of writing in the New York Times. And they just like elevate it to some level that makes it okay for them to defend it, because they enjoy it, which I'm like, I just, at the core level, I just don't enjoy some stuff that other people enjoy. And, of course that makes me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I
better than them is what I was going to say, but.
Oldie Saltine says, on a different note, I tend to not agree with Brandon's pop culture takes, but him saying just watch Peep Show was clutch. And then we have another take on an earlier caller, Sebastian Lemba. Attack on Titan is not fascist. I don't think it's particularly well made. The nation of the main characters are from essentially a persecuted and oppressed people internationally due to xenophobia and vulgarized historical narrative from the expansionist global superpower that subjects them to concentration camps, and the main characters fight back. Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, that's why I said like there's a lot of like debate, because like it's still ongoing. So a lot of critiques people have about the show are kind of like developing as the story is developing. So you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt, like,
Mo Jomin, the Americanization of European football, the leagues that make a lot of money. The Americanization of European football, the leagues make a lot of money. Just an observation. But when Minneapolis burned during the Floyd riots in neighboring St. Paul, a brand new soccer stadium, and McDee's stood untouched while everything around it also burned. New market rate apartments are still going up at this moment. I'm not sure what your point is, but appreciate it. Poochu says, Emma, if you love the NFL so much, why don't you marry it?